Well, good day. So for today, I'd like to flap my gums about the greatest bounty hunter of all time, Boba Fett. We're gonna talk about his first appearance ever, and it was in a cartoon. Well, of course, you probably knew that already, but I'm just saying. So, as per the usual, let's recap the episode itself. I will give you some thoughts in my head about, things that I've seen in this episode, and then I'll talk some more about some more things behind the scenes after. So, let's go! So Chewbacca and Han Solo are due to arrive back on the ship, the RS Revenge, after completing a mission to retrieve the mystical talisman. And this talisman thingamaroo is totally important, right? Both the Rebels and the Empire are looking for it, because this thing can totally turn you and whatever else you want invisible. So it's like the perfect weapon, right? It's like Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility, but in space. But something is going wrong with the mission. Chewie flies the Millennium Falcon right past the rendezvous point, and with the limited communications we kinda see with Chewie in the Millennium Falcon, we also see that Han Solo is hung upside down and tied up. What's going on, right? So Princess Leia is totally confused and totally concerned for two of her best friends. So she orders Luke Skywalker, C-3PO, and R2-D2 to follow Chewbacca. And so they do. So they take a fancy Y-Wing and totally fly up to the guy. Again, but they crash land on a jello-like ocean on a moon in the Panas system, and it totally sucks because they crashed on different parts of this jello-y ocean. Luke can't find the Falcon, yet again. But they meet up with this new friend, Boba Fett. And Boba's like, yeah, I know where the Falcon is, guy. I'll take you there, friend. That's what new best friends do, right, buddy? Maybe. So they board the Millennium Falcon, and we see that Chewie has the mystical talisman. So, the mission was a success, right? No. Because we see the walking carpet tosses the talisman into their trash, and at the same time, Luke totally passes out. Boba Fett is concerned about Chewie's treachery, so he does his best Spider-Man impersonation on Chewbacca and holds him in place. But it turns out it's not Chewie going wonky. The talisman extrudes some kind of a sleeping virus that only affects humans, and that's why Han Solo was hung upside down. You see, the only way to keep people who have succumbed to this virus alive is to hang people upside down so the blood can go to the brain and, keep the host alive. So it turns out that Boba Fett knows of a remedy to this virus, and it's just in the town that they're really close to. Totally convenient. So he and Chewie go into town to get some. So they take a pretty stealthy way to get into this Empire-controlled city. They're kind of laying low, and Boba Fett does indeed find the remedy. He also makes a quick detour just to make a quick long-distance call to the villainous Darth Vader. And Vader is all like,
yes, bring them to me alive. But first, hey, let them take you to their secret base, because you're such a good friend to them, and they'll just take you there. That's what friends do. We'll capture them there.
treachery from our new friend that we know nothing about, Boba. Oi! It's a really good thing that R2-D2 just happened to be picking up transmissions from inside the city and happened to see that one. Very convenient. So Boba and Chewie get back to the Falcon and, give them the serum, and Han and Luke are saved. Hooray! And as prophesized, Luke is like, hey Boba, you should come back with us to our secret rebel base, because we do rebel-y things there, and it's secret, but yeah, we'll let you in. But Luke's droid friends are like, whoa now, this guy's bad news, man. He's Darth Vader's right-hand man. He's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, man. Don't trust him. So now that Boba Fett knows his cover is blown, instead of capturing these high-ranking rebel officials and their walking information-filled droids, he just flies off with his jetpack. I'll get you guys next time, even though I easily could have stunned you all right now, But no, so the day is saved somehow, and really I guess that's all that matters. And with that, that is the end of this fantastic tale. Yeah, that's something completely different, eh? Really, for the most part, it's pretty good. Like, it seems kind of really silly in some areas, but, you know, like, well, Chewbacca crash landing on that, moon in the ocean there, like, did he really know that the antidote was in a city somewhere on that moon? Is there any other way he could have actually signaled to the rebels, you know, that Han was in trouble and all this stuff, instead of just flying away? It's kind of like, those answers are kind of assumed yes, you know, but like, then why did he crash in an ocean? He's a pretty awesome pilot. Like, he could have landed closer to town, you know, like things kind of add up, but at the same time, they kind of don't, you know? But still, all in all, like, you can kind of figure things out like that yourself, and, you know, it's all pretty hip and happening, and it is, like, a pretty good basic little story. You know, for the first time you see Boba Fett, it gets kind of somewhat kind of close to, like, how we see him in the movies. He's probably a little bit more chummy and kind of, you know, more personable in this cartoon than he is in the movies. I guess we kind of see that later on in the Book of Boba Fett, where he talks more and he's more friendly, so it all comes full circle. The animation is something pretty awesome and something you really wouldn't really see in the late 70s, kind of early 80s when this cartoon came out. They did want to have more of that European kind of a cartoon vibe to it, and I think they nailed it pretty awesomely. And in the animation, like in the drawings, in the backgrounds and everything, there is actually quite a lot of like detail in everything. It's like a lot of work was done in a lot of time, but like a lot of love was put into this little project. And it's really awesome that all the actors, you know, came back to voice act their characters in this one, so it just, you know, is just a nice flow throughout all the Star Warses. So this is the first Star Wars cartoon that's ever happened, and thankfully, in my opinion, not the last. There's been a couple of Star Wars cartoons happening in this, you know, 70s, 80s era, and in the current era, we've seen Star Wars cartoons happening for, what, 10 years or so plus, with the Clone Wars and Bad Batch and all these, so man, really awesome to see. So if you haven't seen this one, you know, I'd say check it out. I don't know if you want to check out the entire Star Wars holiday special that this cartoon is placed inside of, but you can. And with that, let's find out some more about the holiday special in this cartoon. So, if you didn't know already, the featured episode is a short animated film that was featured in the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I am still not too sure how it got produced, let alone aired on television. But the Holiday Special is a sci-fi variety show, and that means it has a whole bunch of musical appearances, short comedy sketches, and over a bazillion close-ups of Chewbacca's son, Lumpy. Man, if that isn't Star Wars, then I don't know what is. So this cartoon was just another aspect of the variety of the special, and really the highlight of the special by far. And also, it is the first time we see Boba Fett. So the holiday special was before Boba Fett's live-action appearance in The Empire Strikes Back. So the designers for The Empire Strikes Back were working on the Fett character design at this point, and they had the rough idea kind of figured out, you know, how his uniform's gonna look and all that. So for this cartoon, to get the animators up to speed with Boba Fett's look and all that, they sent a short black and white test footage little film of Boba, you know, to them so they would know what he looks like and how his armor moves and all that fun stuff. But like, it was in black and white, right? Like, what about the color scheme? They never mentioned anything on that. Well, the animators had to improvise, you know, there and figured that they would make him much, you know, lighter and brighter tones as to, you know, make him stand out against the darker tones of the background. So he is pretty bright and does stand out in the episode. Of course, for the movie version, they had a change of mind of how the color's gonna look, and you get his iconic green and red kind of a look going on there, but you know, still with the white clothing underneath like he had in the animated special. So the featured cartoon was produced in Canada by Nelvana Limited Studios, and so I guess that makes Boba a Mando-Canadian dual citizenship? You know, Nelvana was pretty awesome with Star Wars because they also produced 2 Star Wars cartoon series. Of course, that would be the Ewoks and droids. And in the droid series, Boba did make a second appearance in the Star Wars cartoon world, with his uniform having the same coloring as he had in the holiday special. So, as I mentioned, this being the first appearance of Boba Fett, it's, be it, officially part of canon lore or unofficially, like, for the most part, the special isn't considered canonical story, but elements of it have been added to the official rich history of the Star Wars universe. Like, for example, Boba Fett has that two-pronged weapon, the Amban sniper rifle, and we have seen it much later on eventually in the Mandalorian TV series, where that Mandalorian, Din Djarin, does fashion the same type of guns. That's a really beautiful callback to this cartoon. In his own show, The Book of Boba Fett, at one point he's talking about wanting to ride a Rancor, and in that scene he has mentioned that he has ridden beasts 10 times his own size. So that could be a reference to this special in how we see Boba riding a giant Par's Ich-Thai Odin, which is like massive, right? So if that was Boba referencing the holiday special, it's not really verified, but it's quite possible. Also in the holiday special, Wookiees celebrating Life Day, that holiday has become canon in Star Wars as well, so you're slowly seeing this thing becoming more and more canon. And this special is pretty important because going forward from here, this was the start of the whole Mandalorian concept of warriors and everything about that, right? Like, we eventually get to see Mandalorians fleshed out in many Star Wars shows, most notably the Clone Wars and Rebels, everything about them, their hierarchy, their history, their current struggles, the planet Mandalore, like everything, right? It all started with this guy writing this thing in this goofy holiday special, so yeah. And with what little we know of Boba Fett during the original trilogy timeline, and with what little we've seen of him in that, like, I think it was only 6 minutes of screen time he's got in that trilogy. In those 6 minutes, he became a legend, which is a statement that is never followed by, that's what she said. Right, so 6 minutes in the original trilogy, we learn he's pretty badass and pretty awesome, and the greatest bounty hunter there is. In the prequel trilogy, starting with episode 2, Attack of the Clones, we learn that Boba is an unaltered clone of bounty hunter Jango Fett, where he starts honing his bounty hunter skills and, kind of takes over the family business, so to speak. You've seen him in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, where he fell into a Sarlacc pit and allegedly met his doom. Or so we thought, until we finally got to see him again in The Mandalorian, and then with his own show, The Book of Boba Fett, where a whole bunch of spoilers happen. And to end things off, let's just do a quick nod to all those people who gave Boba Fett life on the big screen and small screen. We start off with this holiday special where he was voiced by Canadian Indigenous actor and musician Don Franks, also known as Iron Buffalo. In the original trilogy, he was portrayed by English actor Jeremy Bulloch, but was voiced by American actor Jason Wingreen. In the prequel trilogy, the young Boba Fett was voiced by New Zealand-born American actor Daniel Logan, who would also voice the character in the Clone Wars animated series. And then, with Boba's father Jango and adult-aged Boba, he is portrayed by New Zealand actor Tamira Morrison. And, well, of course, any animated portrayal of adult clone troopers was based on him as well. And yeah, hey, so that's all the, main meat and potatoes of all things Boba Fett for now. And I'm sure we'll see more of him soon, I guess, right? His first series just wrapped up, and a lot of stories are really ramping up. So yeah, until then, yeah, right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, feel free to do so. Or anything else, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, have a great day. Thanks.